Okay, good afternoon all. In today's class, we are going to learn about types of evaluations and properties of evaluations. Before going to start this types of evaluations, let us brief yesterday's concept, that is architecture evaluation. What it is? What yesterday's concept is architecture evaluation. So here, what is architecture? Architecture is nothing but it's a structure of a total project. Structure of a total project is called a architecture. Clear? So this architecture has many activities. Those are the scheduling of a project, calculating the budget of a project, and what are the performance indicators of that project, team structure, testing, maintenance, and all. These are all activities are included in a project. So now we are going to evaluate this architecture. Now we are going to evaluate this architecture. What is the need of evaluation? So whenever we are going to perform the evaluation of the architecture, it is help to find a problem, okay, of a software project in earlier itself. Okay, somewhere in throughout the project, somewhere there is any kind of small, okay, or little problems will arise. So to find out that problems, which kind of problems will occur while developing this project. So to study, okay, that kind of errors, and we need to get ready to face those errors, okay, by evaluating the project. So evaluation of a project is evaluation of a project is one kind of precaution, or it will predict from some kind of errors of our project. So because of that only we are going to evaluate a project. So whatever the structure we have designed to develop a project, the analysis of that structure is called a architecture evaluation. So analyzing of a structure whichever we are going to develop, that is called architecture evaluation. So why are we going for the evaluation? So whenever we evaluate something, then okay, we will get clear idea about that project. Then we will get clear idea about that project. What are the pros and cons of that project? Okay, if some kind of what problems raised in future, how to handle those errors. Okay, if suppose developing of one module may take much time, okay, may need more time than the customer requested time. So then what we have to do? Okay, so then we are going to take, before starting of that project, we are going to increase the team size of that project to develop that particular module, to hand over that project within a schedule. So then we are going to increase the team size. So like that, this is one kind of small, okay, this is one kind of a small problem raised while developing a project. Not only that, what scheduling problem, it may be a budgeting problem, okay, cost problem. Some equipments may need a more amount, some are less. Okay, so if we have time, then we are going to choose some less cost equipments or products to develop that particular project, isn't it? If you don't have time means whatever is available in market, directly we purchase that and we'll install that one into our project. If we have time means okay, we will analyze instead of that one what we have to do there. Okay, which other equipment is fitted in this particular area or not. If it is possible, what to do? Okay, how to do? So like that we can estimate something, okay, related to this in evaluation itself. All right, so because of many reasons we need to evaluate our project. So first of all, let us discuss what are the, if we will go for architectural inspections, okay, what kind of benefits we will get from the architectural inspections, what kind of benefits we will get. So those are financial benefits and preparation of some documentation, okay, and some other what captured rationale, which means some set of expert persons we need to analyze that project, and also some early detection of problems with existing architecture, validation requirements, and improved architecture. Okay, these are the 6 benefits whenever we are going to inspect, or we are going to study, or we are going to analyze a project. Clear? Financially in the sense, so how much amount is needed to complete this total project, okay, when we will get back this total amount, how much time it will take, if we want to get back this one after developed this project, how many years it will take. So clear knowledge, complete okay, knowledge about a project, budget and finance. So that is the inspection, one kind of benefit to analysis, or to analysis that architecture. And second one is force preparation for the review. Whenever we are going to inspect that project, so whoever involved in that project, they must prepare a documentation. Okay, the documentation must have each and every point of the project. So if before any inspection they missed some points related to that project. So if they missed some points, this project will be handled by some other new team means with the documents it's impossible to complete, or it's impossible to understand what this project has. Suppose because of some unexpected reasons, the new team is going to handle the same project after designing everything. Then, okay, by seeing, by analyzing the documentation only, they'll understand what is this total project itself. If the current existing people are not preparing the documentation properly, then the new people can't understand, the new team members can't understand the understand about project clearly. So such kind of problems will rise if the documentation is not clear and it's not up to date. So if we are going to inspect that one, if we are going to analyze that one, then automatically the team members should get ready a okay documentation for review, isn't it? So that is how the one of the benefit. Okay, coming to third one, captured rationale. So in this captional rationale, so each and every person must I mean they must have the information about the each and every point of that project. Then only they'll ready to give the answers about that project. Whenever we'll inspect that project, so whoever involved in that project, they must thoroughly know about this project. Then only they'll answer for our questions, isn't it? So such kind of, because of this inspection only, they'll prepare about this project thoroughly. So each and every member, whoever involved in that project, that should, that people all are involved 100% at this time only. So not only these people, anybody, if some inspections are going on, some evaluations are going on, whatever the works we have done on, that means 100% we are ready to prepare. Okay, now I'll ask you to get ready for tomorrow's class, which means I'm going to ask you the questions on your subject up to date. Okay, till today, from first class to till today. So whenever, okay, I will use that statements automatically. All are alerted accordingly, and you will all prepare from day one class to till today's class. So why? Because so you need to uh, you should answer to each and every question. So because of that reason, you should prepare thoroughly about what you have learned, what you are doing, okay, till now. So like that, here also, okay, if some inspection is going on, not an inspection, evaluation is going on, okay, some project in the sense, they get ready, okay, with the preparation. They don't have take the chance to give others. If they'll keep quiet means who will explain that project? So they must thoroughly read about that project. They should have total knowledge for explaining of that project. Whoever involved into that project. That is the one of the benefit. And coming to the fourth one, early detection of problems with the existing architecture. In the sense, if the same architecture is available in market or not, if available. So what are the problems faced by that existing architecture? Okay, the same the such kind of errors will occur in our project or not. If okay, such kind of problems will occur in our project too. Okay, what are the steps to recover that one? Overcome. Okay, avoid such kind of errors. Okay, existing errors. So they are ready to answer for this question too. So early detection of problems of existing project and how to overcome those problems in our project. That is called early detection of problems. Coming to the fifth one, fifth one is validation of requirements. Validation of requirements means whatever the requirements we gathered for our project, whatever the requirements we have gathered to develop our project, those each and every one is suitable to our project or not. If anything is brought unnecessarily, okay, so like that. So after bringing each and everything or some equipments, whether those are working in proper way or not, so validation, checking of each and every small or big component of everything related to a project. Okay, working condition of that each and every equipment or every part of that project, that is called validation of requirements. So uh, and also last one is improved architectures. So whenever we are going to perform the evaluation of the architectures automatically, okay, the architecture or output of the architecture should be automatically improved, isn't it? These are about the architecture evaluation. So parts, if we are going to evaluate something, what are the benefits we will get? What are the benefits? Prior benefits. These are called actually prior benefits, evaluation prior benefits. Now let us move our today's topic, that is called Types of evaluations. Types of evaluations. As we know that evaluation is a process of analyzing the structure of a given project. Actually, this analyzation in two forms, or it is in two types. Coming to the first one is planned planned evaluation, and second one is unplanned evaluation. What is the first one is planned evaluation, second one is unplanned evaluation. So planned evaluation in the sense it is as we know that it's a general thing, whichever a general planning thing, whichever we are going to develop a project, which means a planned evaluation is a normal part of our development cycle, normal part of our software development cycle. Whenever we are going to prepare a project already, so whatever the lists we have get ready for preparation of the project, in that project itself we are going to include this part also. Before going to the execution of this project, we must evaluate each and every step, okay, before itself. Like that there is a planning, okay, for this evaluation, and it is scheduled well in advance. So when we need to plan like that, so we will schedule for this planned evaluation before itself, which means after commitment of the projects itself. Okay, whenever we are going to gather your requirements or something, at that time only, okay, after gathering all the requirements and after getting that designing itself, first of all we should evaluate the project, then we are going to the implementation state. Like that they should schedule about this evaluation, okay, and it is considered asset of the project. If we evaluate this project, okay, then this is one kind of asset to project. Why? Because we are having many benefits in this evaluation, so automatically it becomes one asset of that project, right? And the planned evaluations are preferable to get less risks on work product. So when we are why we are going for these planned evaluations? So whatever the risks we may get in future, so to reduce that risks in development state. That's why we have planned this evaluation to get good results. Okay, to reduce the time factor itself, some any delays, we can overcome the delay of the project because of some unnecessary things. For such kind of things we are going for a planned evaluations. And coming to the second one, what is the second one here? Unplanned evaluations. Unplanned evaluations in the sense, so we didn't plan this kind of evaluations in prior itself. So when it will come means whenever the whenever our project facing a serious problem while developing a project, it may face somewhere else some serious problems, some serious troubles. At that time, we are ready to evaluate that one. We are ready to evaluate that project. So this kind of evaluation, dynamic evaluation or instant evaluation is called a unplanned evaluation. When it will occur, when it will come into the picture, whenever the developing project may face some troubles. So to overcome the troubles, once again, the team members are going for the evaluation of that troubles. Okay, so where we did mistake, why it is coming this I mean why it is showing this kind of output, it's not related to our project, which kind of mistakes we did before, like that. Okay, they think about that project, and again they started to evaluate the project. Okay, it is not an ordinary thing. So this unplanned evaluation take, or it needs more time and some resources too. So these are the need more time and more resources to execute in dynamic state. To execute in dynamic state. And also, okay, these kind of evaluations to be filled with a tension. So first of all, the people who are developing that project are in little tension. Why? Because they got some troubles, some errors while developing that project. And with that, they started for this unplanned evaluations too. So this is also will take some time to evaluate the total project from starting to ending. So it's a time taken process. At the same time, okay, it will be filled with some tensions until unless the problem was found. So all should be in, all are getting the tension, whoever involved in that project. So this is called a unplanned kind of evaluation. Clear? Two types of evaluations, planned and unplanned. Planned evaluation in the sense whenever the architecture is designed for a project, at that time they were scheduled for this evaluation. Okay, that scheduling kind of evaluation is called a planned evaluation. Coming to the second one, unplanned evaluation. This unplanned evaluation will come into the picture whenever whenever they'll get some problems while developing a project. So at that time they thought somewhere we did some mistake. So that's why we need to evaluate our project from first to ending. So this kind of evaluation is called unplanned evaluation. So unplanned evaluation may give fruitful results or not, but planned evaluation maximum it will give, okay, some fruitful results to the developers. Clear? Okay, coming to the next slide. These are the properties. What are these? Properties of a successful evaluation. So in those properties, here we are having 6 properties. The first one is clearly articulated goals and requirements for the architecture. What is the first one here? First property of a evaluation, that is clearly articulated goals and requirements for the architecture, which means analyzing architecture without knowing the exact criteria for goodness. So whenever we are going to analyze some architecture, so first we should keep in mind we don't know about that project. Okay, we are assessing, I mean analyzing that project from starting to ending. Okay, to include some qualitative attributes or some qualitative things into that project. Okay, from first to end. And also the goals of the project which is defined for the purpose of the evaluation. So why the designers, why we are going for this project development? So what is the need? So whether this architecture or this architecture is worked accordingly or not, whether by following this architecture, okay, we will get I mean good results or not, okay, we will reach the goal of the project or not. So like that, it will it will give, I mean such kind of answers it will give. So it is clearly articulated goal. So why we are developing this one, so which for which goal we are going to develop the project, and whether we meet that goal or not. Okay. And also architecture is, analyzing the architecture is for getting or for including some goodness or some good qualities of the project. So that is the one of the property of a evaluation. This evaluation will give the will assess the reaching of a goal of that particular project. Coming to second one, controlled scope. So if we evaluate this project, first of all we got some clarity about priority tasks or prioritized modules. So where we need to concentrate much, okay, and how to do that one. So what are the complex area, complex areas, how to solve first such kind of complex areas of a project. Like that, first of all, when you evaluate this project, automatically it will give us clear picture about the project and what are the highest prioritized tasks into that project, and where we need to put more concentration, and where we need to control the project. There may be cost, or maybe budget, or maybe team members, whatever it may be. Somewhere in the total, somewhere in the total project, is there any controlled scopes are possible or not? If some module needs less team members, but some module needs more team members working on, if working on a project, okay, some functions need, okay, more team members, some functions need less team members. Accordingly, we will we will transfer the people, working people. Okay, so like that, not even the schedulings also. So which module needs more time, which module needs less time to develop. Okay, like that, for each and every small point it will give the results about a, okay, controlling of each and every what property which include by a architecture. So it's related to maybe performance, it related to maybe a people, it related to maybe some maintenance or something, anything or anything. So where is the possible to control something? So we can come into the picture, and also where we need to concentrate much. So there we will concentrate much. So if unnecessary things, we will concentrate less. By evaluating this project, so this kind of benefits also we will get. Clear? If you while doing one work, so if you are preparing for exam, for example, if you are preparing for some one exam, in that while studying that what while studying that particular subject, okay, you may thought or you may feel some topics are important topics for exams, some are not. So when you will get this idea, when you will get this idea, which means Okay, if you are studying about that subject thoroughly, when you are studying about that subject, so automatically after studying one unit, second unit, third unit, or fourth unit, or otherwise if you are going for analyzing your previous question papers, we are going to refer some previous question papers. By referring that previous question papers, like that, some analyzation has made on that particular subject. Okay, by reading of that subject, or by referring the previous questions of that subject, or by listening some classes. Okay, you will get one idea of that subject. So which concepts are important, on which concept, okay, you need to pay more concentration attention, and which concepts has less priority. So based on that, you are you are you are get ready for the writing of the examination. So that is one kind of evaluation in real time. So like that, here also, here also, if we performed evaluation on something, which means on project architecture, then it will give some clarity about prioritized tasks and unprioritized tasks. So where we need to control the team members or some works or some schedules, etc. Anything. So we got some clear idea about the project. And coming to the third one here, what is the third property here? It's a cost effectiveness. Cost effectiveness in the sense, uh, evaluation of this project may go for, may give some cost factors also. So why? Because maybe for some small projects it not give that much differences of cost. If we are developing, okay, for small kind of projects, so if you evaluate that project one time, two times, three times, four times also, there is no much difference of we are not sure some, okay, difference to get the amount. Okay, less for small project. There is no cost effect. But for bigger projects, whatever you are developing, okay, whatever you are developing, if you will go for a evaluation of that bigger projects, so it may reduce the cost a lot. It may reduce the cost a lot, isn't it? So for that purpose, you are going to analyze the project, not one time or two times, three times. For example, if you will go for purchase a dress, okay, if it is one dress or two dress, so for that one dress or two dress, if you will verify not only one shop, two shops, three shops, four shops also, it won't give much difference. Okay, if you'll visit multiple number of shops for one dress, whichever you like, okay, each and every shop may give almost all same amount. Okay, that dress. But if you'll go for a big, I mean, big shopping, which means if you want to purchase clothes for some function, okay, or for some marriage. So for such kind of shoppings, if you visit, there is a chance to shop. There is a much discounts between shop to shop. So by analyzing each and every shop, then we will select finally one shop and we'll purchase on that. So then we'll get big discounts. If you will buy a single product or less cost product, that may not give much return back, less cost. But whenever we'll go for big projects, big shoppings, so there you will find some cost differences or some discounts. We may get some much amounts differences. So here also, if we evaluate a project, if we will evaluate a small project, there is no okay big difference in cost. But if we will evaluate a big projects, then maybe you will get much amount differences. We will reduce the cost of that project if you evaluate that project thoroughly. Okay. So instead of using a costliest equipment or costliest component in one place, you will replace with that one by using a less cost components. Or otherwise, okay, you may reduce the team sizes if you don't need that much of working people on somewhere or some particular area of that project, then automatically you will reduce the team size of that project. You will get benefited. Okay, so like that, each and every small thing and big thing will come into the picture when we will go for a evaluation of a project. So that is the cost effectiveness. And next, fourth point of property is key personal key personal availability, which means for some projects there is a need of identifying the stakeholders for the evaluation report and to elicit their values and expectation. Okay, so already you know that what it is each and every time. So while developing a in a SDLC software development like cycle, at the each and every phase, after each and every phase, we should report the results of that phase to the persons, okay, to the stakeholders. So here, which stakeholder is best stakeholder to understand the situation, to understand about a project, and to whom we are going to represent about this project, about what are the pros and cons of that project, to whom we need to explain. So by doing this evaluation, okay, each and every time whoever participated interestly on this project, so for that particular stakeholder only we should explain about this project. There are many members are involved into this project. Okay, so the project stakeholders are many. So from those, it's impossible to explain all the points, each and every point to all stakeholders. So instead of that, we should choose one person or two persons from that among all. Then we'll explain the status of the project to that particular person. So in this evaluation of this project, so this kind of identifying of customer, identifying of a stakeholder is also a one of the property. Then if the customer is okay knowing person or familiar person about the project means, okay, it is very easy to explain to him about our status of the project compared to, so what some new customer in the sense who doesn't know about a small point about a project. So convincing of that kind of persons is a very difficult task to compare it to, so knowing person, which means already who has some idea about the projects. So that is the one of the property, key personal availability. Next, coming to the fifth one, competent evaluation team. So if we are going for evaluate some architecture or some project, there must be a team. Compulsory, there must be a team from one corporation. one organization. So the team may not be related to a single expertization. They may have different knowledges about different fields. They are coming from different areas of that particular organization, which means one person is related to some what from designing unit, for one person from an general coding expert. One person is from testing expert, and another person is from analysis, real time project expert. So like that, there is a team with different people. There is a team with different expertise people. So that different expertise people should evaluate this project, okay, clearly, thoroughly, in a competent manner. So one person has little competition with another person, his beside person. Why? Because those are related to different areas. And what they thought, whenever they'll give the results, they thought I need to evaluate each and everything in my particular area, and I need to give many suggestions and many feedbacks to that area. Like that they thought, isn't it? Okay. So the persons are from different places, and they'll give their suggestions according to their expertization. Okay, then we will get good amount of results, good amount of sub results as outcome of our project. Clear? So that is called a competent evaluation team, right? Next, last one is managed expectations. Last one is managed expectations. So understanding of the expectation of the organization. So in that, so what we are going for this project. So what are the expectations these organizations have while developing? What are the expectations of customer whenever they'll ask us for a project? So there are different kinds of expectations from a developing organization and from a customer. So how to understand both of their views, and how to evaluate that one. Okay, so how to finish this project within time. Like that, they'll think about this project. Those are called the managed expectations, which means for which purpose they are asked to design, and what are the facilities which have in the organization to develop this project. So by using the facilities of providing by organization only, the developer get ready to develop that project. And also they must keep some what expectations of a customer itself. So both they'll balance both, and they must manage the both expectations, and they'll ready to develop a project after evaluation, after many feedbacks from different expertised persons. So by taking their experiences only, we'll get some clear picture. Okay, some problems are solved in a smooth manner. Okay, some big hurdles are also okay, just automatically they'll crossed. So this is about the evaluation. So these are the different properties. When we will get this kind of properties in the sense, so while developing the project or after developing a project. Before this topic, we have discussed 6 benefits. So those 6 benefits, before going to start the evaluation, So whatever the steps, whatever the benefits we will get. But here, but here, after the evaluation, after the evaluation, kind of benefits, which kind of properties we will get. This is about architecture evaluation. Clear? And coming to next one. So next one is, this is the second topic of second unit, that is architecture, design, decision making. What it is? Architecture, design, decision making. Okay, we will discuss this topic in next class. So now I'm going to stop this class here itself. If you have any doubts,